We are following some breaking news. The U.S. Coast Guard has launched a search for a missing tourist submarine that disappeared after looking at wreckage from the Titanic. This is off the coast of Newfoundland. Ocean Gate Expeditions, which owns the ship, says, quote, "We are exploring and mobilizing all options to bring the crew back safely," the company said in a statement to BBC News. "Our entire focus is on the crew members in the submersible and their families." Submersible. Joining us now is Tim Taylor. He is the founder and CEO of Tiburon Subsea and builds submarines to look for World War II wreckage. So, Tim, great to have you. Thank you for jumping on. How do submarines go missing like this?
Well, in this world of submersible work, you always live with the overhanging reality that you could lose assets, you could lose equipment, you could lose submarines, you could lose robots, and that is part of the risk that is involved in doing this. So it is very akin to climbing Everest for these people, and knowing that it carries innate risk. So this particular submarine is a prototype type submarine. It's constructed, according to their website, a lot differently than others. It's not even rated by some of the standards for submersibles of this nature. It's not registered by Lloyd's or any of the agencies because it's a prototype. It's a new type submarine.
So who do you think is on this submarine? It's not just tourists, is that correct?
My understanding, through my sources right now, is the founder, and I can't verify this, I'm working on verifying this, but what I've heard is that Stockton Rush is on board and PH Nargile are the co-pilots. And again, I want to couch that with the fact that we're still trying to verify that, but they are intimately involved in knowing this vessel. So if they have to solve problems down there, these guys know it inside and out, and have a much better chance. Now, missing is a we don't know if they're missing because they lost comms with them. They have 96 hours, according to their website, which is a standard tourist submarine bailout. They have 96 hours of life support. If you're a scientific vessel, it's 72 hours. But my understanding, they have 92 hours, which is basically 4 days of life support aboard that. So if it's a matter of equipment failure and telemetry failure, and they're just on the bottom, and there's going to be somewhere around the wreck. They just have to locate them and bring them up, hopefully all intact and alive. So, but you know, this is the clock is ticking here.
What's your biggest concern right now?
I would, not knowing how they've run their operation, they're a tourist operation, how well they're funded to have emergency equipment on standby. How far away is that emergency equipment? They say the Coast Guard in Boston are working that effort. What kind of assets are in the area? What kind of submersibles or robotic ROVs that could be there to assist them at that depth? They're at 3,800 meters, and they're, according to their website, their vessel is rated at 4,000 meters. So you know, it's not a crush depth, but they're close to their operating depth. So you know, there's a lot of questions I have, but ultimately, it's a timing thing now. How fast can not just the Coast Guard get there, but if they're on the bottom, not floating on the surface someplace, because they could have floated up and not have comms. There's a whole lot of ifs coming off this at this particular point in the search. But if they're on the bottom, you know, if you find them, you still have to get them, and that's assets, that's equipment, and it takes time to mobilize that. It's not something that's standing by unless they brought it with them and they have that on board as an emergency backup or recovery system. So that's my concerns.
And Tim, what does that recovery operation look like? What do you believe is the worst case scenario here, in your opinion?
Well, the worst case scenario is it was a catastrophic failure, and that's the worst case scenario. If they've lost all their power and they're still alive within the submersible, it's recovery. And what you need is to get down there. They need to have to drop weights in their system and float up, which obviously that hasn't been done. Otherwise, they wouldn't be looking for them. and assuming that, or you're going to have to attach it with another submersible or go rescue it with another submersible, which I don't think they have that on hand. So they'll need a remote operated vehicle. And I'm assuming they would have a remote operated vehicle on board that could reach those depths, that could hook a cable to this and bring them up, or help solve the problem and bring them up in some manner.
And once again, Tim, do you mind reiterating how safely this crew can be underwater at these dangerous depths?
They have 96, according to their website, and according to standards for commercial tourist submarines. They have to have about 96 hours, 4 24-hour days of life support. So the clock is ticking as of now. I would say they're less than 4 days. They have to figure this out, if they can figure it out.
All right. Well, we will be keeping a close eye. Tim Taylor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.